Good.
As you know, the much anticipated seat relocations will go out this week. And many of you who are around us know the care that we put into that. To refresh your memory, we sent out a very detailed guide last spring, including a questionnaire for all our existing season ticket holders, to ask them what their preferences would be. We gave them the prices and asked them to make selections for where they'd like to sit in the new stadium. I'm very happy to, and everyone was asked to give us their top 3 choices. I'm very happy to report that 90% of people got one of their top 3 choices. In fact, a full 50% got their top choice of sections. And also to refresh your memory, the way the priorities were lined up for that were, the first priority was your year of first being a season ticket holder. The class of 05 came first, then 06, 07. Oh, and by the way, the only people who are not getting their locations yet is the class of 08. They'll get theirs in about 4 weeks. Everyone else will be getting theirs, starting in priority with the class of 05. The next priority would be the type of ticket holder you were, that is where you were. Dugout level, terrace level. The next priority would be the size of plan you had, full season, half season, partial. And then if there were still a tie after that, the last tiebreaker was date and time that you actually bought your first seat. Now, I want to point out what is not a basis for determining your seat, because this is important too. Some things that were not used were number of seats you had, and people have been confused about this. If you bought 4 seats in the stadium, you didn't get a higher priority over someone who had 2 seats. And another thing that was not a factor is where you sat in RFK, and that has been a source of confusion. But let me explain that. The reason we couldn't use where you sat in RFK is because the stadium is just so vastly different from RFK. And I want to talk to you about that. The geometry here is different in 100 ways, and all of them good. But let's start with that. First of all, as you can see, we're right now standing in the Diamond Club seats. In front of us are the President's seats. Well, that's 2,500 seats that we had at RFK, that people were sitting in RFK that aren't in the general seating here. So all those people who didn't choose to be in Diamond or President have to be relocated. And obviously, virtually all of them are 05s. Virtually all of them are full seasons. In fact, all of them are full seasons. And so they had high priority, so they have to move out. That's number one. But number two, the other differences, which are, again, almost all positive, this is a baseball stadium. It's not a round multi-purpose stadium. The benefits to that are, you can see, and that's why I want all of you to stand here. The proximity to the field, the sightlines are so vastly superior to anything we've ever had in this city that it really is great to just stand here and look at it. For instance, the front row behind the dugout on the sides is 16 feet closer to the field than those seats at RFK. The back half of those sections are 23 feet closer because there's no aisle in the middle. The sections curve into the field, so take a look down the lines, as far down as you want to go, and look at how close you are to the game. You're right there, even though you're down as far as the foul pole. You are right on top of the game. Now let's look up for just a second behind us, the club level. The club level is better and closer, I think closer, but certainly better, than the downstairs 300 seats at RFK. It's just a fantastic seat with really superb sightlines. And anyway, I think everyone, no matter what your preference, no matter what you end up with, you're gonna find once you're here how much of an improvement all of this is.
And when the thing arrives and here's your new seat, do you have a right of refusal? And then, like, say you wanted to get real close, but you couldn't get that,
we
and
have,
then you could go, you know what I'm saying?
Well, so far all we have are deposits, and that's why
right.
we don't talk about season tickets, because until opening day I won't know really what we have. So far all we have are deposits. And everyone will get a chance, I guess, to decline. I don't expect a lot of that. But we do have a full-time service staff that is ready. We know there are going to be many questions. Everyone's going to have a question about it. Some people will, once they get their seat, want to choose another thing. I will say this. Right now, we're still in discussions for all our premium seating, which includes Presidents, Diamond, and Suites, because those are all multi-year contracts. I do expect all of it to be gone by opening day. It's not yet gone, and so people who still want to opt in, maybe they weren't happy, or maybe they want to go in with a partner and get an improved seat, that's still available. Down the lines, we will be pretty much sold out. You know, till the bend down there, we still have full season ticket locations past that bend downstairs, but we don't have halves or partials except in the outfield. Upstairs, the club level is already completely sold out. Behind the plate upstairs but we will have full seasons still available behind the plate upstairs, and of course many great locations for halves and partials. We have now the information that says going out this week. We have a brand new team of salespeople. This is their first week on the job. We're having a series of advertisements and pitches for the various things we have for sale here going out starting this week. So our sales season really is going to start now. This is when it gets really ramped up. Everything we've been doing till now has been taking deposit. Our sales really will begin in earnest starting this week.
And
yes.
Clearly everything in the lower deck, whatever that is, 21,000, is closer or dramatically closer.
Yeah.
In the upper deck, some seems closer. Further seats, I can't figure out. In other words, is the 30,000, 35,000 best seat?
I don't know. I can get you that answer. I don't have that, Tom. I will tell you this though: of our 46,000 seats at RFK, about 10,000 of them were upstairs outfield, and we don't have any of those in this park. So by definition, every seat in this ballpark is just closer.
How many of those?
All the upper deck seats here are closer than any of the upper deck seats at RFK. I've just been given that answer.
How many?
I buy it. How is it possible? Because it's always said that club seats force the upper deck further back.
I think there we don't have club seats. That's the answer.
And that was a decision, not because most ballparks do go down.
Listen, I have to give the credit for that to my predecessor. As you know, we had nothing to do with the design. But yes, I would say that's correct. We fought mightily against putting the media all the way up, but you know, we had no choice. That's right, like many battles that I've won.
Stan, what proportion of your first year season ticket holders did go through as a relocation?
I don't have that. It was a number. It was in the 80s approaching. It was something like that. It was a big number. People who were still here from 05 last year, obviously they were here to continue. So.
And last year's, whatever your base was last year, is a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, 95%. Like really high.
Stan, what about single game stuff? People who don't have season plans.
Single game stuff will go on sale late February is my guess. I don't have the specific date, but probably last week of February is what I'm thinking, George.
And do you know when, regardless of that March 30th game, will you
March
announce?
29th.
No, but I mean the next. If you open the next day, would
yes.
you announce the schedule before you know that, or will you not?
We
will
really
you hold
can't,
back?
and we've been asked not to. It's no secret that we'd like that game, but I have to tell you, just for that one change to happen,
Something's got to be moved.
There have to be jumps and triple jumps. There's also going to be an announcement soon that some major league teams are opening out of the country, and that's forcing other teams to move around. There may be a foreign spring training trip for another team that is causing so everything has a domino effect. So that's why we have included a tentative schedule with our invoices, although I hated to do it because tentative schedules just don't help you any, but we really kind of had no choice.
How many seat assignments are going on?
How many seat assignments? You know, it's at least the number that we had last year, which was 15,000, and then quite a bit more, but I don't have the exact number, Howard, which is, I know what you're trying to get.
Is it just the full season?
Everything other than
15,000
08. No, the class of 05, the class of 06. No. Fall seasons, halves, and partials are all going out, but for the class of 08, which would be people who, second half of last year, put deposits down, or people who, since the end of the season, put deposits down. Those people will get their locations in about 4 weeks.